Welcome to day 41 of the 300 movie challenge. Today we watched the highest grossing film of October 1997, which was The Devil's Advocate.
The trend continues with October.
I guess we'll go with Valen because I think probably out of the three of us, you might have just sat through it a bit better.
So, okay. I I I like the idea of this movie, and I like a few parts of this movie.
Okay.
I like Al Pacino.
Well, yeah, because he's
him,
Al Pacino.
right? And also him. I like how he plays his character about how he again, like, you kind of get the sense of him or whatever, earlier on, but as you kind of understand more of how he works and stuff, it's interesting to see his behavior and his interactions with people. And like, he is kind of, you could tell very early on that he's like kind of a weirdo, but like,
Yeah.
he's at least kind of an enjoyable weirdo, at least to like see. And I do kind of like it, the whole kind of ending climax scene, whatever you want to call it. As he was basically saying that, like, and he wasn't wrong in saying this, that like, hey, you decided to do what you decided this stuff on your own,
Yeah.
right?
That
And
part was interesting.
yeah, so I do agree that, like, you were saying, oh, this is going on so long, but I actually liked that scene quite a lot. That whole kind of climax where they're talking about stuff.
I guess I just kind of felt like it was a little bit drawn out.
Yeah,
it was
a little drawn out, and
it felt kind of like, when villains are like, oh yeah, this was part of my scheme, and like, you fell for this.
It took up about 20 minutes, like the last 20 minutes.
I was surprised when I saw that there were 20 minutes left, and I was like, what could possibly be in the epilogue?
Well, because the thing is, though, like, that's why one reason why you said it's like a villain thing. Like, yeah, I get it, but at the same time, part of his thing was that, like, he didn't like really do that much, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and again, the character interactions, I like that, and just kind of seeing how the main guy, how he does seem to kind of actually like want to go with it at first, and like kind of accept his offer at first, right?
Yeah.
The switch and the very end, I wasn't totally on board. That seemed to come a bit too quickly, and the whole like, oh, it was just a dream kind of thing. I mean, it's
yeah.
that was kind of like, oh, hold on, wait a minute, right? So that was a bit iffy, but at least that climax scene I liked. I liked the part where after his wife, like, that happens. I'm trying to keep this kind of spoiler free, semi spoiler free. After that, and like, he walks out of the building, and like, the woman talks to him kind of creepily, and then there's like there's nothing in the city or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
that was a cool visual. That was neat.
That was a pretty cool visual, yeah.
And yeah, and then also just in general, I like the idea of like someone kind of being sort of really subtly manipulated in certain ways and kind of slowly losing his mind, and like, even though again, overall he's the one making the bad decisions himself, like,
Right.
I like that as a concept. The problem is that the main character is not likable, and it's very drawn out.
Yeah.
Those are honestly, I don't think there are too many other problems besides that, but those are big problems.
I think those are probably the main things that made me like not really like it, aside from the fact that it's kind of a horror movie. I actually thought it'd be like more of a horror movie.
Yeah, when I was seeing
It
that,
wasn't
horror
much
movie.
of a horror movie, like how you would expect a horror movie to play out.
No,
of.
actually, it honestly, especially some things in the beginning, it felt almost cheesy in the horror elements of it.
Yeah.
Like, it got better later on, and it wasn't so much horror, but more kind of suspense building and stuff like that. It got better later, but in the beginning, at the very beginning, it seemed like I commented, like, were they trying to scare us with a toilet flushing? Like, you know what I mean? It's like stuff like that where I'm like, really? And there was a couple things like that, so it was just kind of weird. But so yeah, there was that. Again, the main character. Again, the idea where he seems to be kind of losing grip on himself and kind of being an asshole or whatever. I get that like that was the point, but there needs to be a sort of sympathy there to start with, and it just wasn't
Yeah.
there.
Like,
Right?
all
From
of
the beginning,
sympathy-
he didn't really give that. Even before he lost his mind, he didn't really give off that impression either.
No,
Yeah,
because
because
they
He wasn't supposed to be arrogant and like this and everything.
yeah, because for this kind of setup to work, you want to like the character. So then when he starts
Yeah.
losing his mind, you feel bad for the character, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that you don't
But-
have that beginning sympathy for him really. And I feel
You-
like they were close, but they just kind of slipped out of it too quickly.
I think it's probably because of like the fact that you feel a lot more for his wife, and like the fact that she's not dealing with this very well. And I kind of felt like the way he treated his wife detracted a lot from trying to make me want to sympathize with him at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Like his poor wife, I was just like, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
And
You really did not feel bad for him at all throughout the entire film.
No, I was just like the whole time I was like, oh my god, the poor wife. I was
I
like,
wish
can you
he
please
divorced
stop?
him.
I know, like I just wanted her to be happy.
actually, wait, hold on. I just remembered something. Okay, so
Huh?
there was that, there was, besides the wife, there was like two other women who were like kind of creepers, right? One of them was the
Yeah.
one who was revealed to, be the sister or whatever, right? But then there was
Yeah.
the other one, like the African American woman. What the hell was her deal? Right? She was like the one who like
know.
made her like grab her breast or whatever, and then also had the weird thing in her skin and like this other creepy stuff. But she was like after the funeral thing in the church, like she was never there, and it's like, wait, what was
yeah.
her deal?
She
Yeah.
vanished.
So that was weird.
Oh.
I just realized like that doesn't make any sense. If anything, she was creepier than the other lady who ended up being, an actual plot point in terms of who she was.
Yeah.
So that didn't make. Well, hold on, that doesn't make any sense. So again, that's why I said when I was watching the movie, like that it makes me like, what was the phrase I said?
It makes you frustrated?
Frustrated, yeah, because like
Yeah.
I like the concept and there's parts of it that I like, but I just feel like they just dropped the ball too many times in regards to again like pacing, like some weird character interactions, and also again the main character just not working.
The premise has a lot of promise. It's just I don't think they executed it very well.
No, not really. And again, there's like elements of it being executed well, so it's like
To the horror aspect, I feel like if they didn't concentrate so much on the horror and they went more psychological, it probably would have helped too.
I think that would have benefited it quite a lot. And if you were more inside the main character's head, like him not being such an asshole, if he was more human,
Probably would
you know?
Mhm.
Because the horror aspects, as Fallon mentioned, they weren't that great and stuff.
Oh my god, the CGI in the last couple of minutes were interesting.
Oh yeah, that was interesting.
But I feel like if it went more psychological, that would have went like much better for the film and
Yeah,
stuff.
and again, I feel like
like what was that movie? The movie that also went really long and it was about a lawyer in court.
Primal Fear.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
like that one. How
Mhm.
that was more psychological.
Yeah,
stuff.
similar
that would have
kind
made
of
it
vein.
interesting.
Yeah, because again, like especially this would help for the sympathy of the main characters if like maybe you kind of because again remember like a lot of the stuff they kind of showed some psychological stuff a decent amount with the wife, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of showed that turmoil with her, but they didn't really do that with him, right?
No.
And
I
it's
don't know
like
why.
yeah, and again, it would make it more interesting because then it might make you understand like his actions from his perspective. Because again, to us, it kind of came off like, huh, he just seems to be kind of an asshole. But again, if they showed it in a way where he could kind of do the same things, but it was like, oh, you see why he totally believes this is the right choice and that this is ultimately actually what's
Yeah.
going on and it's a good idea, even though it's not. It would again made it more believable and that there was some earnest care, but it doesn't. It just that doesn't happen, and they also add in like at least 2 scenes where like him and his wife are arguing over stupid shit. That's like
Yeah.
his fault, basically. Like again, when he like leaves her at the party, it's like, and she's all mad about that, and it's like he's like, "Why are you mad?" And it's like, "Are you stupid?" First of all, and then again, it's like look, even if you got this super important call, couldn't you just be like, okay, cool, I'll do the thing you want to do. Let me go find my wife and say, hey, I'm really sorry, I gotta go do this, but you know how this works, and then you can go,
Yeah.
right? I mean, she'd probably
Yeah.
still be pissed, but like not as pissed, right?
Yeah, because
So-
he wouldn't
Yeah.
have just abandoned her randomly.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
even like
exactly.
offer to like take her home or whatever, and then say, hey, sorry, I know you want to stay here, but you know, and I'll take you home at least. You don't have to get back by yourself or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And it could, I don't know. It's just so again, I get so frustrated because I'm like, there are things that are good, but then there's things that are not. And it's just So yeah,
It's like Primal Fear again.
yeah. It's actually I do kind of feel similar to Primal Fear. I would say overall I like Primal Fear more.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do too.
too. Yeah.
I'd say the just over like the best parts of Primal Fear outweighed were better than the best parts of this, and the worst parts of this were worse than the worst parts of Primal Fear. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. It's not. I wouldn't say that there's like nothing in this film that's worth seeing or worth kind of getting into. But again, I would also say that, like, I'd say, I don't know.
If it was shorter, it might be a little bit more worth it.
Yeah.
But I
'Cause I
think
feel
it's
like-
a bit too long.
Yeah, like especially the first like half, I felt like almost nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Yeah. And I get that they have to like set up the characters, and not only that they set up the characters, but they have to set up like the normal, right, before people start losing their minds. So I get that that's kind of double the setup, but is that really enough for an hour's worth?
I don't think
They
it
didn't
had.
really do a good job of setting up the normality for the main character in the first place. So
Well, right, exactly.
Yeah, so.
So, meh.
Okay, any final thoughts?
I don't think so.
no,
I guess if you like Primal Fear, watch it. I don't know.
I guess.
It's a bit different.
It's
but
different.
I guess
It's kind of similar in certain aspects. I don't know. It's not terrible. It's definitely like, I mean, it's kind of sad, but it's honestly one of the better films we've seen this year. But there's definitely better ones that we have seen this year, like the last one. But
yeah, the last one was good.
yeah, but it's definitely not bad. It's just frustrating.
It can be, yeah.
I think
frustrating.
frustrating is the best term to describe it.
I think for me there were different aspects that got to me that gave it a lower rating, at least for me. But
I also personally kind of felt that way, but I think if you want to just unbiased kind of opinion, then probably go with Valen's recommendation of if you liked Primal Fear or like kind of middle of the road kind of stuff, then maybe you might like it. I don't know.
definitely
can be
didn't watch
creepy.
it for the horror aspect, though.
Yeah, there are probably better horror movies.
Okay.
Okay, so next time we'll be watching something completely different.
Yes.
Really, completely different.
So,
So hopefully that means it's good, but it might just... Thing is, okay, if this next thing is bad, it's definitely going to be bad in a way that, like, is not like this.
it'll at least be an enjoyable kind of bad maybe.
Yeah.
It won't be... Well, I don't want to say anything it won't be, because then somehow it will be that. But let me just
Don't
put it
set
will
yourself
it,
up.
it will be a very different movie, so that's something at least to be nice, and also it's short, so that's a good too.
Yeah. And then we have a
And then we have a
special
movie
one at
that's
the end
not
of the
short.
looking forward to that.
Yeah. I look forward to the next 3 movies of 97.
2 movies.
Right.
Oh yeah. We're almost
Right.
at the end.
Yes, 2 more.
Yes.
And
Almost
then
done.
we'll see how the whole end of year discussion goes, or if we have to actually split it into parts, because the last movie is pretty long,
Oh god.
and I can foresee it being quite a discussion, perhaps.
Yeah, or we'll just be so burnt out and destroyed by the 3-hour movie. It will just be like,
I mean, honestly, it's not really a spoiler, so
Yeah.
Could probably see it coming, but for now we're not gonna
Ha!
say anything.
See it coming? Get it?
Oh my!
Get it?
That's a horrible joke.
Get it? It's really bad, but it's okay. Anyway,
I'm already
they
depressed.
didn't see it coming. Like we will. Ha!
I'm already very depressed.
Oh my god.
That joke is probably better, more enjoyable than the entirety of 1997. Okay, I think we should stop.
Yeah.
Okay, goodbye for now.
Bye.
Why?